This is a true story. Once upon a time, there was a man named Abraham, a wealthy businessman who had everything the world could offer. A beautiful, devoted wife named Hannah, and 3 innocent little children, Isaac, David, and Ruth. Abraham loved his family, but he carried a heavy secret in his heart. You see, his own mother, Rebecca, and his siblings, Absalom and Delilah, they had poisoned his mind against his own wife. They whispered in his ear every day, telling him, "A wife is just a stranger. She can leave you anytime, but your blood family is forever." So Abraham believed them. He hid his immense wealth from Hannah. He bought massive properties, commercial plazas, foreign investments, and behind his wife's back, he put his mother and his evil siblings as his next of kin. Every time Hannah asked about his business, he would shut her down, telling her that business was a man's burden alone. Only his youngest brother, Benjamin, saw the evil in their house. Benjamin tried to warn them, but they silenced him with bitter words. Then, tragedy struck. Out of nowhere, Abraham collapsed. He was rushed to the hospital with critical organ failure. He was lying in the intensive care unit, hooked to machines, drifting between life and death. The doctor came out and told Hannah, "If you don't pay millions for his treatment tonight, your husband will not survive." Hannah was devastated. She picked up her phone and called his family, his mother, his brother Absalom, his sister Delilah, crying, begging them to help save Abraham's life. Do you know what his family did? They did not care. They sat together in their parlor, checking their nails and smirking. Absalom said, "If God calls him home, who are we to question God?" They were actually waiting for Abraham to die, so they could take over all his money and throw his wife and 3 little children into the street. The only person who came to the hospital was young Benjamin, and with tears streaming down his face, Benjamin could no longer keep the secret. He sat beside Hannah in that cold hospital corridor and confessed everything. How Abraham hid his fortune, how his family made themselves next of kin, and how they were waiting for him to pass away. Imagine the pain in Hannah's heart, finding out that the man she loved with all her soul had treated her like a stranger. Any other woman would have walked away. Any other woman would have said, "Let him die then." But Hannah looked at her husband lying helpless on that hospital bed, and she wiped her tears. She told Benjamin, "I did not marry him for his money. I married him before God. If I leave him to die, I am no better than those plotting against him." So Hannah sold her entire business inventory. She wiped out her life savings. She slept on hard hospital chairs for weeks, starving herself just to pay every single hospital bill and keep her husband alive. And God heard her prayers. Weeks later, Abraham opened his eyes. He survived, and when he came back home, walking slowly with a cane, he called his wife. With tears flooding his face, Abraham fell to his knees right in front of Hannah. You see, while he was lying in that hospital bed, trapped in his own body, he heard everything. He realized that his mother and siblings had completely abandoned him to die, while the wife he betrayed sacrificed her whole life to save him. He wept and begged for her forgiveness. He brought out a lawyer right there in the living room and signed over every single piece of land, every plaza, every bank account, and every business he owned into the names of Hannah and his 3 children. He held his wife close, broke the curse of greed in his family, and rebuilt his home on love, truth, and forgiveness. For more true stories like this, subscribe to Kelechi Obani TV.